my lovely friends. This is your girl, Sim, back with another episode of the Sim Squad. Today, we are going to speak about a topic which I was avoiding for some time, but then I thought I keep mentioning it in my video, so I might as well actually educate my followers to know what exactly it is. I was recently diagnosed with this condition called fibromyalgia, and let me just read off what fibromyalgia is for you because I'll tell you my experience, but before that, let me just tell you what Google says. Fibromyalgia is a chronic, long-lasting disorder that causes pain and tenderness throughout the body, as well as fatigue and trouble sleeping. Scientists do not fully understand what causes it, but people with the disorder have heightened sensitivity to pain. This is actually the perfect description for my condition. Um, I was having these body pains that would just come out of nowhere. I mean, I would be totally rested, and then when I would get up, my body would like cramp up, and like the pain was so severe that I had to take painkillers. And I just was confused because like everyone around me was like, "Oh, you're not strong. You need to get fit. You need to exercise. You need to do some weightlifting and everything because like just a little bit of work and you like get tired." um, like the pain was so severe that I would end up going to the hospital to take painkillers and intravenous painkillers basically, or I would resort to because I wasn't sure, is it inflammation or is it exhaustion, did I overwork my muscles? But then it wasn't making sense. Like it was not making sense that I barely did anything throughout the day and I'm having severe pain which lasts for days. So then I just decided, I was like, enough is enough. There was this one day where I was at work. I had to come home because I was in severe pain and I just could not hang in there. And I directly went to the hospital from there and actually I was recommended by a lot of people to see a neurologist. And I went to the neurologist. They ran a couple of tests. They did my MRI. They did my blood test and everything was normal. So they just told me that, oh, you must be exhausted, or if you're working out, you've overdone your workouts. And I just kept telling him that, listen, I understand what you're trying to tell me, but it's not possible. It's not possible that this is exhaustion and this can't possibly be weakness. Um, Most of my friends and family were like, eat more, you're probably not having enough energy. People were like, go on vitamins. I tried everything, every single thing. We even got a massage chair at home so that I could get massages every single day. That didn't help either. So I knew like something was wrong and the doctors are not being able to identify it. Now, by this time, I had been to so many doctors, so many different specialists that I actually had given up. Till one of my influencer friends, she recommended a rheumatologist, and she was like, listen, I have rheumatoid arthritis, and this doctor was the only one who was able to identify it. Now, when I went to the rheumatologist, he was one of the first few doctors who took me seriously. He wasn't like, oh, this is like imaginary, psychosomatic, or oh, it's because you have anxiety and depression and everything. This is like the side effect of, like it was like incredibly, I don't want to say insensitive, but like they were just like warding me off, like I'm just imagining stuff. So, and plus, like at home, I was hiding it from everyone. Like if my body would hurt, I wouldn't tell anyone because I didn't want people to think I'm weak. And I didn't want them to like judge me basically that, oh my god, she's so weak. Like I had people telling me that some people are just born weak, and it was so hurtful, because I was like, I'm not weak. But then anyhow, this doctor, he also did so many blood tests, um, allergy tests. Then he did my MRI for my spine. He did various tests. But then after running a few tests, because he basically, what he did was an exclusion test. So they test you for everything possible that could cause this kind of generalized pain all over the body. And then he asked me where the pain is heightened. And I told him it's more along my arms, on my knee, on my thighs, behind my neck, at the nape of my neck. Um, and plus I have IBS and everything. So he he put one plus one together, and then he did all the exclusion tests, because he did kind of like have an idea that this is possibly fibromyalgia, but he didn't want to tell me because this is a sickness that has no cause and no cure. So you don't know why it happens, and nobody has a cure for it. It's like a lifelong thingy. You could be in pain for one day, and then you could be in pain for like a week or a month, and you could be like okay for years, and then it can come back again. So it was like a bit heartbreaking when he told me that this is like a condition that you'll have to live with for the rest of your life. I was a bit like taken aback, but at least I knew, okay, I know now what's wrong with me, because it's like now next time somebody says you're weak or you need to eat more food, I'll have a medical report, like this is it, guys. Um, Especially in the Indian subcontinent and Middle East where I live, people do not pay much heed to um, your mental health. I mean, it's just beginning to, people are just getting educated about like mental health, about depression, anxiety, and the different symptoms that come along with it. And people are slowly but surely coming to accept the fact that mental disorders are also as bad as physical symptoms. There are many more experienced psychiatrists, psychologists, counselors. So I'm happy that like this is finally happening in this part of the world where uh, mental health awareness was like close to zero. I mean, unless you were like in really dire state where you were like a schizophrenic or a bipolar person, then it would be recognized because those symptoms are so severe and they have telltale signs and everything. Um, but now we have like a lot of like medical facilities here and everything where we can get like treatment. There are a lot of support groups, there are a lot of people who have forums, and like that's what I'm planning to do as well, because again the fibromyalgia journey, it can vary from person to person. Like I might have a few symptoms, like out of like I don't know, like the 12, 15 like symptoms, and like another person could have a different version of it. uh, Also the pain medication, like it's not necessary what suits me would suit someone else. Like my doctor, he put me on this medical medicine called Lagaflex, and it's a muscle relaxant, and I was supposed to take it twice a day because my pain was very severe. But like if I would take it in the morning, I couldn't function at all during the day because I would just be so sleepy, so exhausted. I just wanted to curl up in my bed and sleep, and I just started feeling like okay, the pain was not there, but I was feeling awful, awful. Like I couldn't do anything. I couldn't get out of bed, at one point. So he told me to stop the medication in the morning and just take it at night. So I started doing that. And then I was like, you know what, let me do some research on my own about fibromyalgia and what other people have been using and doing. And so here's the thing, like I took the medicine for over a month, and in every forum, in every health related articles, it was like, okay, this medicine is a temporary relief and you're not supposed to take it for more than 21 days. And I was in shock because I was like supposed to go back and get my prescription refilled. And that's when I decided, I was like, you know what, I need to start doing the pain management myself, and I cannot rely on such heavy medications. So I just started like assessing my own symptoms. So for me, basically, I have this severe pain all over my body, but it's concentrated around my joints, in my arms and in my legs. Sometimes even like when I wake up in the morning, I can't do this, which is why the doctor thought perhaps I have rheumatoid arthritis or autoimmune diseases, which also he checked me for because he was suspecting lupus. And I was like, yeah, that's not possible in this part of the world, but like it could have happened. But thank goodness, touch wood, it was not any of the autoimmune diseases. So I also have this thing called brain fog, which is why in most of my videos I pause and I just can't, like I can't remember the words. and like it's just like a general fogginess where you feel like you're floating, and it's so difficult to concentrate on stuff. At one point, my psychiatrist, he actually told me like we might have to see assess you for ADHD, because I had this tendency of drifting off, or I would not pay attention to people, and like there were like small things, like if I watch videos I have to watch it at 2x speed. Like I cannot, like I'm just not patient enough to watch, like for example YouTube videos. I can't watch it at 1, I would watch it at 2x, and like once my husband spotted me doing that, and he was like, how are you even understanding what they're saying? And I told him like, listen, I can understand everything she's saying, but if it's slower, I'm just not going to be able to watch, and I'll try and like learn a lot of things off the net and everything, and I watch a lot of videos. So yeah, so I was like, like such kind of habits, like the doctor was like, maybe it's ADHD. So besides the brain fog and the pain, I have like straight up, like people call me lazy because I have so much lethargy. It's so difficult to get out of bed in the morning. And like the symptoms of depression and fibromyalgia kind of overlap. So like when you have depression you can't get off bed, and now I'm wondering, like, am I even depressed? Because when people meet me, like they're like, you don't look depressed, you don't look. I do have anxiety and people notice it, but depression, they're like, no, you're not depressed, so maybe it's just this, it's the lethargy, the fatigue, and the brain fog, everything combined. Maybe the pain in my body, that's why I can't get out of bed, that's why I'm not motivated. I mean, I'm making a YouTube video after such a long time, and trust me, it's like there were so many times I just wanted to like switch on my camera and start recording myself, but I was like, oh my gosh, I need to like like align my thoughts and present it in a proper way so people would watch me. And I didn't want to show myself in a state that was vulnerable, and like I didn't know what I would put out there, because I want to do this video in a positive light, not like, oh my gosh, I have an impairment, or pity party, let's go. No, it's like, it's more of like, if you're going through the same thing, where especially if you're from the Indian subcontinent or from Middle East, where like our culture is a bit like, when you're having a flu and you have fever, it's not even considered as sickness, you still go to school, it's like, just get out of bed. So like we kind of like are like tough love kind of a thing, where people are expected to just like go about their day even if they're sick. And things like this, like fibromyalgia and depression, anxiety, like it's so funny that one of the doctors, he told me, oh, this is a rich person's disease, and I wanted to strangle him at that point. But like, thank goodness, we have insurance coverage here, and I was able to go to doctors, and that's another thing, because I know a lot of friends who I see, they're clearly like they have some issues, but their insurance doesn't cover mental health treatments or diagnosis and everything, or the meds, which are like super duper expensive. And I just feel like all the insurances should cover these, like it is a disease, it is a medical condition, you need to treat it, and you need like insurance for that. So it just doesn't make sense to me. But thank goodness for me, I had my insurance, and my rheumatology and my psychiatry was covered. Besides this, the other symptoms I have is like, I have IBS, which is like my stomach is like upset all the time. It's if I drink water, my stomach bloats up. I do have general what do you call it? Water retention in my body, especially when I wake up. And no, I don't have too much salt. I don't have too much of processed foods. It is just it's just something that happens. That's when I can't fold my fingers, or like make sudden movements, like bend down to pick up something, or like I need to like warm my body up and everything, and then like it starts functioning properly. So the primary symptoms are widespread pain, fatigue, and cognitive difficulties. This is what they call the fibro fog, which is the fogginess, brain fogginess. And this means literally like you have an inability to focus, pay attention, and concentrate on mental tasks, not physical, mental. Besides that, fibromyalgia can also coexist with the following, which is irritable bowel syndrome, check. Chronic fatigue syndrome, check. Migraine and other types of headache, check. Interstitial Ptosis or painful bladder syndrome. I don't have that. Temporomandibular joint disorder. I don't have that. Anxiety, check. Depression, check. Postural tachycardia syndrome. This is when you like when you're in the lying position, or if you're sitting down and then you suddenly get up. You know that little spin you get? That's like the thing. I get it like seldomly, but I do have this one thing where if I stand in one place for too long, I faint. So it's like basically the all the water, all the blood like flows towards your feet and not towards your heart, and then you start feeling like faintish and everything. So I need to like sit down immediately or lie down where my body is like the blood is going towards my heart, you know. So yeah, like different people have different symptoms, but like I want to tell everybody, like if you're going through these symptoms, don't take it lightly. I mean, if you are feeling these symptoms, your body is trying to tell you something. It is not normal to like have pain. It is not normal for you to be foggy. People are like, oh, she's like sleeping beauty, she sleeps all the time. They're like silly things they tell you. Oh, she's a princess, she can't like move much, you know, like it's insane the kind of the taboo in our culture, especially towards like women who, or men as a matter of fact, who are suffering these symptoms, and it's just taken so lightly. They're like, oh, go take a paracetamol or take a ibuprofen and you'll be fine, you know. And that's what I did for like many a years. I just kept taking Panadols and Proxen. That's one medicine I take for migraines, and like I just realized it's gonna wreak havoc on my, you know, liver and kidney. And like now I'm being so careful on what I take, and I'm seeing like proper specialists and everything who know what they're doing and know what they're prescribing. Although my neurologist sorry, rheumatologist prescribed me medicines that I'm not supposed to take long term. And surprisingly, this is something which people get addicted to. It's like Vicodin, you know, that medicine Vicodin and this Lagaflex. It's very similar, and people get addicted to it. But I did not like it. There's no appeal in being sedated all the time, you know, for me. So yeah, guys, this is like my little journey. For now, I am just trying to find the balance where I work and have physical activity, and how much I should rest. And I'm trying to find that right balance where my body doesn't hurt. So, guys, don't let anyone put you down. Don't let them tell you you're weak, or belittle your symptoms and belittle you as a human being. That's not fair, and people should be made aware. Like if someone does that to me, I explain to them what condition it is, whether they like it, don't like it, whether they understand or they think this is psychosomatic or whatever. It's my job as a person to explain it to them. It's up to them to take what they can, you know, and register what they can. Maybe some years down the line it'll make sense to them, you know. So happy good health. Take care of your body. You just have one. You don't have spare in the cupboard like our clothes, you know. So take care of your body. Be good to yourself. Be kind to yourself. Don't overthink much. I'm really trying to implement this thing of not overthinking and overanalyzing. I'm just one of those people who likes to think in advance and over. Seriously, during this session, somebody rings the doorbell. So my train of thoughts has left the station and left me behind. I forgot what I was saying after I answered the doorbell. So yeah, guys, like love yourself. That's all I'm gonna say. Love yourself. Don't take things too seriously. If people have an opinion about you, don't pay heed to it. I'm not saying ignore it, but like don't pay heed to it. It's like it's their opinion of you is none of your business, you know. And you should love yourself, and you should be able to like stand up for yourself and take care of yourself, because no one else will. Trust me, no one else will. Like yes, there are people who love you and stuff, but like we are the ones who know our bodies and we know how to take care of ourselves, you know. And yeah, let's try and raise some mental health awareness so that people who are going through the same issues get the help they want. There's a pigeon outside, and yeah, lost my thought again. Okay, peace out, and love yourselves, love each other. Let's make this world like a happy place to live in. All right, guys, see you in the next video. Bye.